Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Back at it, ready to have some fun. So today I'm going to give you 5 bottles that I can't wait to open. 5 bottles. So before we dive into that, though, real quick, a couple updates. So I know a lot of people reached out and say, hey, Judge, kind of, what's going on with the channel? When am I going to see, for example, some barrel picks coming in? So an update on the barrel picks. I did a barrel pick that actually already sold out. It was a Frey Wrench pick. It was a collaboration pick. It was with Stuff and Whiskey. It's my good friend Josh and Aaron. And then also SLB Drinks. So Trenton and Kurt. So we did a collaboration pick. That sold out like literally same day in a couple hours. That whiskey was good. And it was great. Gone with the wind. Also recently just did a barrel pick that was launched this past weekend. And that went out to our patrons. Myself, Bourbon of the Week, so my buddy Chris, and then also Phil and Julie from the Bourbon Van. Make sure you check out those channels, by the way. All 4 of those channels I just gave. But Bourbon Van and Bourbon of the Week, we did a collaboration with ASW, the Fiddler. So that released to our patrons. There are less than 20 bottles left. So if you want a bottle of the ASW Fiddler, which by the way was amazing, make sure you check out the description in today's episode. Cool? All right. And then last update is I have several more barrel picks coming out in the next couple weeks. So one coming out this week coming up, and then a couple more in the next couple weeks. So make sure you check out the channel. Make sure if you're interested in becoming a patron, go ahead and check me out over on Patreon. Next update. I want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to our newest patrons. Let's go ahead and welcome my good friend Travis, Troy B, and CM. So Travis, Troy, and CM, thank you all for becoming patrons and supporting the Bourbon Judge, as well as I should say thank you for all my patrons, each and every one of you out there. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. So thank you very much for helping for all this to come to fruition. Cheers, everyone. All right. So today, 5 bottles that, again, I bought these, and you buy a lot of bottles of whiskey, and typically you take them home, you open them up, you enjoy them, and so forth. But sometimes you can't open every single thing that you have, right? Because you don't want to have, too many bottles open at one time. So these are 5 bottles I have in my collection. I'm like, you know what? It is time to open them. For today, I'm not going to open all 5, but I'm definitely going to open 1 or 2. But don't worry, in the next week, I will definitely be opening the other 3, for sure. All right, let's have a little bit of fun. And these, by the way, are not in order of preference. These are just the 5 that I'm going to give you. Cool? Just going to give you my 5 and the reason why I even bought these bottles. Fair? All right. First one, and I'm going to start sipping this whiskey now. First one is Buzzard's Roost. So this was started by 2 friends, Jason and Judy. So they have a nice little tasting room in downtown Louisville, which is actually where, I saw the bottles obviously in different stores. I saw it online. And I was walking around downtown Louisville. I was like, let me pop into this tasting room, right? So I popped into the tasting room. Gosh, I can't even get this thing open. It doesn't want me to open it. Popped into the tasting room, met a lovely bartender, super, super cool. Told me the whole story about, how Buzzard's Roost kind of came about. 2 friends. For the most part right now, they're sourcing their whiskey, but they are using their custom barrels that they have, created for them. So they're sourcing the whiskey, but they're aging it in their custom barrels, which I think is pretty cool. So they kind of change up a little bit. It's not just like your standard source whiskey. I do believe they also are contract distilling as well. But as we all know, gosh, don't you love that sound? As we all know, it takes time to create like a full, actual distillery. So for now, we will stick with what I enjoyed in their tasting room was, let's get a little bit more. Amazing source whiskey, again using their custom barrels that they have created for them, and I really loved it. This was the bottle that I tried again in the tasting room that was flat out amazing, and this one here is their barrel strength straight rye whiskey. Yes, the barrel strength straight rye whiskey. This one comes in at exactly 115.7 proof. So this is a brand that I plan on watching over the next couple of years. So here's our number 1. Let's get a little bit of a sip here. I remember being in the tasting room like, wow, this is just not your standard MGP whiskey. It's really, really nice. Very delicate. Peppery, obviously, as a rye. But sweet. Oh, man. All right, folks, here we go. Cheers. That is really good. That is quite delicious. That is pretty damn good. All right, Buzzards Roost is definitely a brand the Bourbon Judge will be following over the next couple of years. I'm expecting big things out of you, Buzzards Roost. But this right here, this is a fantastic start. All right, let's go to number 2. Oh, man. So number 2, I guess, it's a smaller craft distillery. They're doing a little bit. I mean, they still are obviously making the majority of their own whiskey, but they do a little bit of sourcing as well. But this is one based out of Michigan. This is Traverse City, and this too is a barrel-proof, single barrel, straight rye whiskey. So this is a barrel-proof straight rye whiskey. Wow, 2 barrel-proof straight rye whiskeys in a row. Bourbon Judge or Rye Judge? No, all jokes aside, still the Bourbon Judge. But honestly, this bottle here, I actually had a sample of this single barrel from a friend of mine. So I was at a buddy's house, and he had this bottle, and he was like, "Judge, you need to get this bottle." I was like, all right, let me try a sample. So I poured a sample that night, and I was like, wow, okay, I guess I do need a bottle of that. So really excited about that one there. Traverse City, I've actually reviewed them in the past, and I like all their products as a whole. But their straight cask strength rye whiskey, I thought honestly was probably the best of all their bourbons and their ryes, just in my opinion. At least the single barrel was, and just in general for their straight rye whiskey, cask strength whiskey as a whole. So that's Traverse City out of Michigan. All right, I need more whiskey. It's been a long week, folks. Wow. Woo! That is good, Buzzards Roost. Delicious. All right, number 3. Oh, man. You guys are going to be shocked, by the way, with number 5. You're going to be shocked with number 5. And I should say, there is no asterisk today. No asterisk today. You're going to be shocked, though, with number 5. And I'm going to try that one also. So number 3, while in Kentucky, I always say you have to pop in to Four Roses. So I was in Kentucky doing a barrel pick, funny enough, just a couple weeks ago. So with one of my patrons, we were hanging out, and I was like, hey, before we get to our barrel pick, let's stop at Four Roses, see if we can find something special. And my buddy Oscar was like, sure, Judge, of course. You had me at at Stop at Four Roses. So we stopped at Four Roses, and we grabbed a couple bottles. So this is a single barrel cask strength. This was picked by Brent Elliott, the master distiller. So the cool thing about Four Roses, if you go to Four Roses, first thing in the morning, you can typically get single barrels, cask strengths. This one here is the OESF mash bill. Really excited to pop this one open. Me and my buddy Oscar both got a couple bottles. So, hey, this is one I can't wait to pop open in the next couple days. That's the number 3 spot. I need more whiskey again. Wow. The Judge is really enjoying this Buzzards Roost. Wow. It's funny because Buzzards Roost, it's a rye, but it's so soft and like sweet. Oh man, this is amazing. Wow. Now I remember the reason why I bought this bottle. So damn good. Wow, that's amazing. All right. The number 4 spot. Ooh, boy. Uh-oh. The number 4 spot. So I had this after lunch. Me and Oscar, we did our barrel pick over at Barton 1792 along with Stuff and Whiskey. And then we went over to Bardstown Bourbon Company to grab lunch. And I knew that this bottle just came out. So I was like, even before food, got to stick to the whiskey, right? Even before food, I was like, I need to get a pour of this at their bar. And I did while I was waiting for my food. Hence the reason why I came home with it, because it was just flat out amazing. This is the brand new collaborative series, Bardstown Bourbon Company Carter Cellar. So it's a blend of 3 different whiskeys coming from Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana. But of course, finished in Old Carter, truly in the Carter family. Mark and Sherry got their start actually in the wine business, I should say, for the most part. Like when you think of like their liquor business as a whole, they got their start for the most part truly in the wine business. So this whiskey is finished in Oak Carter Cellars Napa Cabernet barrels. This pour, flat out amazing, and I mean absolutely amazing. Wow, Wow, wow. Mark and Sherry, you did some good things with this product right here. I'm definitely opening up this one as well in the next couple days. All right, number 5. Like I said, you were not going to expect this one. I'm at one of my liquor stores. They're doing a store pick. It was a single barrel whiskey finished in ex Oloroso sherry cask. No, it's not bourbon. No, it's not rye. I'm continuing on that journey from my good friends from Phil and Julie from the Bourbon Van that were like, Judge, we want you to start trying non-American whiskey, non-bourbon or rye. Try something different. So I'm stepping out, a leap of faith. This was Filey Bay. So it's a single malt whiskey coming from England, from Filey Bay. This one is finished again in ex Oloroso sherry cask, coming in at 118.4 proof. So I had this at my local liquor store, and I was like, this is amazing. Amazing. And I went into it thinking it was going to be peated and smoky and just absolutely horrible. And guess what? It was not. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this real quick. This was a pour that I was literally, and I mean truly, shocked how good it was. Truly. The fact that the judge is stepping out the first time was, the first bottle that I owned was the Redbreast 12-year cask strength. Amazing. Thank you again, Phil and Julie. Oh, don't you love that sound? And this time, moving over to Filey Bay, this is a product where, again, I went into my liquor store, I saw they were doing a tasting, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to like this. No way. I'm a bourbon guy. I'm a rye guy. But am I really a single malt whiskey guy? I don't know. I tried it, and let's just say the judge flat out. Oh my gosh, his nose is so nice. His nose is so nice. Wow. I loved it. Flat out. Loved it. That, my friends, is some great whiskey. Yes, indeed. Hey, until the next time, peace, cheers, most important, salute. Take care.